Hi, this is Kevin Kraut. I'm Ogden Kraut's son. This is a book, it's called Elder Statesman, a biography of J. Rueben Clark. This was written by D. Michael Quinn. Michael Quinn was interesting. He somehow had made a connection with J. Rueben Clark and had done a lot of research on this, and I guess he actually put it into quite an interesting book. One thing about folklore stories, and I want people to understand this, when I worked with a private investigator, I went out and I found a bunch of stories on this particular case, and they had no real, justified, or, it was just kind of a folklore, or somebody said this, and it was hearsay, things that wouldn't stand up in court. And I said, so, I kind of dismissed them all, and he goes, no, he says, get all the folklore stories and write them all down everywhere. And then he said, and then little things will start to pop out about the folklore story that will start to kind of connect other things. And so he says, you gather all the information you can, and then you find the facts, then you take it to court. And so that's one reason why I was willing to listen to folklore stories for the most part, is to kind of hear what people had to say about different things and see things. If they got a little bit angry or hostile or something, I kind of backed off. But anyway, with this particular story, I'd heard this story, and what happened was J. Rueben Clark was working. He actually grew up in Grantsville. He was kind of a poor farm boy. He advanced and he went to school, and then he ended up working in New York for some of the largest law firms, some of what we would call the conspiracy, or the Gadiantons, or whatever word we wanted to call. And his brother called him up one day and he says, you're working for the Gadiantons. And he says, what do you mean? And he says, well, go downstairs and look. Go down and read. Go down and study. He says, you go down and read some of those documents down there, and you'll find out that you're working for the dark side. And he says, well, how could that be? And so he went in and studied all this stuff out and found out about communism. He found out about things that were creeping in. He tried to keep constitutionally as much as he could. I think he was kind of stepping on both sides of the fence a lot, but for some reason he also knew what was happening in the world at large, as far as what was happening in the conspiratorial world. And so J. Rueben had actually tried to go to Mexico and tried to keep a lot of things out that were of a negative nature. And he did make a lot of sacrifices. He was a thinking person, not a spiritual heart person, but he did help in a lot of in keeping freedoms and things in our country. J. Rueben Clark.